Look, it varies to quite some degree. You might be surprised to learn that it's not necessarily the small ones that aren't viable, particularly in the country areas. You know, a country town, a small sub-branch may not open its doors every day, but it can still be quite a viable organisation. And indeed, it's sometimes our larger ones that you would think should have all the recipe for success, but don't necessarily, because they don't apply the appropriate management skills, or they don't have their governance arrangements in place well enough to exist. So on the one hand, certainly we have some examples of the World War II veterans who haven't been progressive enough, haven't sought to engage their local communities, and they are struggling, and they will probably fold purely because of that. Something you might call it bloody-mindedness in some instances. Some it's just perhaps didn't really appreciate the situation. Others have progressed and they've reinvented themselves, and you know, I think it's fair to say that those that have adapted are the ones that have prospered and will continue to prosper.
The ones which have a very low membership, and you know, fewer than 10, you know, and there's some of those, why don't you just let them die out and move on? Because the alternative is, say, to force them into an amalgamation that they don't want to be unhappy with.
Sure.
I mean, it can't be that many years before it, in a sense, sorts itself out.
Look, I think there will be some natural rationalisation, if you like. However, I guess we've got to go back to the ultimate reason for the RSL in the first place, and you know, that is to provide support to the veteran community. And as long as there are veterans in various places, then it's a question of by what means do you provide that support. So again, if we take country areas where sub-branches might be divided by, you know, great distances, like country hospitals in a way, you need to think about what's the best model to provide that support. And again, that notion of camaraderie is very important in that regard too. For suburban sub-branches, certainly we are looking at ways to merge some of those sub-branches, and we've got some ideas that we would set up larger, more modern facilities within the suburbs, perhaps co-located with significant sporting or community venues around Adelaide, and we would work out a way to, I guess, sensitively merge those ailing or perhaps slightly less strong sub-branches.
I think Norwood Oval was one of the locations, wasn't it?
Yes, Norwood and Prospect Ovals are both locations that we've looked at. Prospect at the moment seems to be the one we've got the most traction, and but we would seek to have a handful of those around the suburbs that, again, would meet the traditional needs of the members, would provide the basis for ongoing financial stability so that we can use that money to provide services for our members. And I guess would also have appeal to the wider public so that we can attract what we call affiliate members, those who don't necessarily have a service background but might want to belong and help us out in that shape and form.